Welcome to CRE Power Hour, hosted by the dynamic duo of commercial real estate, myself, Lisa Marie Wand, and my co-host, Stephanie Gillison. She's not here today, but we'll continue with the fun. And Stephanie and I have over 4 decades of combined experience. We've built, we've scaled, and we've conquered the real estate world. So join us every second and fourth Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time as we bring you top guests from the commercial real estate field, and get ready to uncover trends, proven strategies, and meet the movers and the shakers of the business. So tune in for the insights, stay for the success stories, and this is CRE Power Hour. Today we have an absolutely wonderful guest. I'm super excited about our show. I'd like to introduce Joseph James. He's a CCIM, and I encountered Joseph a couple of years ago through his company ROI-Muse, where he does commercial real estate training. He also has a software program that we'll talk about today. So welcome, Joseph. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Lisa Marie. I'm glad to be here.
And he has his signature baseball cap on. So Joseph, let's start out with you introducing yourself to our audience and giving us kind of a quick overview of how you ended up in this business and where you are today.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, I was in the corporate world many years ago. So it seems like many years ago, but always wanted to start my own business. I was already doing some real estate investments, typically mostly single family properties and some flips and so forth. And when I was looking for to retire from the corporate world and start my own business, all paths led back to real estate. And we decided to get my license and start a brokerage business, and that specializes in investment sales. So that's how it got started back in 2014. And then since then, we launched a software company. One of the things that I found out early enough was there was not enough training for real estate investors to go from residential to commercial, and not enough training. And so you guys are doing a wonderful job of training commercial agents and commercial investors. And that's kind of the same thing that we set out as a mission for our company, is to help people who want to get into commercial real estate to get there very quickly and without a huge cost associated with it. So that's kind of where we started creating the software company, so we can use the software as a platform to train. And I believe in learning by doing. So the closest thing is to actually do deals to learn. The second closest thing is to do case studies. And then we created a software company, and that led to more training opportunities and more coaching opportunities. And just a quick background on how we got here.
That's great. So you're based out of Dallas, Texas. My corporate office is based out of Dallas. That's a great place to be. And I really like what you said, Joseph, because that's the goal that Stephanie and I have with hosting CRE Power Hour for the last, at least it's been 2.5 years, is to share the knowledge. Because in our business, like in many businesses, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the veil. No one wants to share. And we, in my opinion, knowledge is meant for sharing. So it's great when not only can you help grow better agents and brokers, but also help grow better investors or people that are on the fence about, oh, I own some residential rentals, but now I'd like to move into maybe multifamily or buying some commercial office, retail, industrial, whatever it might be. And although investors have more resources than they used to, for a long time, there was just really nothing out there, right?
Yeah, I think the information is out there if you want to go find it. Even nowadays, it's even easier with YouTube and ChatGPT and whatnot. But you need a mentor and you need somebody who's done it. So there is no replacement for experience. And that's where people like myself and Lisa and Stephanie and we come in, where we have gone through that journey, right? We have made mistakes. We have lost money, probably, some of us have. But, each of them is a learning experience. And that is what you don't need to do the same mistakes that rest of us have done, right? So I think that is the power of associating yourself with somebody with experience. And all of us, I can't speak for Lisa Marie, but when I started out, I had a mentor and literally just followed him wherever he went, and that's how I learned my business.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very strong to have a human connection. And whenever you need help, all of the time you don't realize that you know what is there to know, but you don't realize that. But for somebody to validate that, to say, hey, you're doing the right thing, there's, your approach is correct. That's all it takes. From not doing deals and doing many, 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 many deals.
It's true because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And for example, I was writing a 16-page purchase and sale agreement yesterday for an industrial investment property. And as I'm going through and creating this contract, this purchase agreement for this transaction, each transaction is unique. And so I had to really pull from my experience in order to put specific language in this purchase agreement, this contract, in order to protect my client, to protect all parties. And when you first start out, I remember writing my first LOI 17, 18 years ago, and just I really had no idea what I was doing. I did not have a mentor. Either did Stephanie. We learned through the school of hard knocks. So it's great to have people like you out there, Joseph. So why don't you talk about what you're doing right now? Your training, your software, and let's start there.
Yeah, absolutely. So ROI Muse is the name of my company. It's ROI as in return on investment and MUSE. So that's how you spell it. So ROIMuse.com. So what we do is we are a commercial real estate technology and training company. We are also evolving to becoming a marketing company. So that is our next venture, which is about launch. So when I talk about marketing company, it's about both marketing your listings and also marketing your brand. So those are the two arms for that. When it comes to the software itself, so we have a commercial real estate CRM system that you can use to track your leads, your customers, your properties, your activities, your to-dos, send mass emails, and so forth. That is our, and you can subscribe to the software on a very low monthly cost or an annual basis. So that is one of the services that we provide. The training that we do is usually come in like a 1 day or a 2 day boot camp format, because sometimes you just need to find out, hey, who's ready to take the next step. Let's try to give you as much information as we can in a short period of time, but you also get the replays where you can slow it down and watch everything. So at least for a lot of people, it's like, now I get it. I see how other people are doing business, and these are heavily based on case studies. So we go through, yeah, this is a 20-unit multifamily property. Let's underwrite the deal. Let's talk about how to do the due diligence. Let's look at a fix and flip or a burst strategy deal. These are the steps involved, how we go about analyzing the deal. I mean, you can always customize it the way you do it, but it's always good to start with the framework or a process to say these are step one, step two, step three, and literally you learn the right way, and then you can improvise on that. So that is one thing that we offer. And then some of our customers came to us and said, this is all great, but I really need more help. And I don't have a mentor. Like Lisa, you said, Lisa, sorry, you said that you did that by learning. And sometimes people are so scared to even start, by or taking that first step. So I congratulate you guys. But a lot of people get stuck where they are and they don't know what the next steps are. And we thought, hey, if you don't have a local mentor, I always tell people, I'm 100% honest with people. I say, if you have a local mentor, that is the best option, that you can shadow them, you can follow them, you can work with them on deals. But if you don't have that, and many people don't have that, or they have a mentor who does not have the time for them, and that is the story that we hear all the time. We're like, okay, come hang out with us, because we have a coaching hour every day of the week, Monday through Thursday, and 1 hour. It's a fixed office hour. We have multiple coaches. You can come and ask any questions to us. We're going to come and teach you something, but you can also come and ask any questions. So we kind of created this group coaching program, which is a small group, 10, 15, 20 people at the most. And that has been a hugely successful for our company, because there is so much demand for people who want to get into commercial real estate. And we have other brokers sending agents to us to say, I don't have to train them, but I'll recruit them, and I want you guys to train them and get them up to speed, and then I'll work on those transactions with them. So it's been a win-win for some of the brokerages working with us as well.
That's great. When I used to be at EXP Commercial. That's how Stephanie and I met. She recruited me to help expand the company and across the United States. I was in the state of Nevada. At one point, I had 24 commercial real estate mentees, I call them. I was the mentor, and they were across the United States, and we had weekly meetings and would go through everything from talking to prospective clients on the phone to questions that you ask as far as really wanting to understand the client and if the client's a good fit for you. Is their business or their building, is their real estate, is it sellable? Is it priced appropriately? Do they have the end goal in mind and the mindset to sell their property or to purchase a property? And it was a very rewarding experience, even though, I wasn't local to all of those mentees to their specific maybe rules in their state, but just having 18 years of commercial real estate experience, I could pretty much guide them through anything. So it's great to hear that you're doing that. So it sounds like, just to recap so far, you have a coaching program that people can subscribe to on a monthly basis. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a monthly basis. They can subscribe to 6 months at a time or 1 year at a time. So there are different pricing tiers based on, if you need 1 year coaching, this is what it is, or minimum 6 months coaching.
Okay. And they can find that on your website, ROI-Muse.com?
Yeah, they can go to our website and find it, or they can, I'll provide my contact information later. They can contact me directly, or email me or call our support team.
Great. And then you have your boot camps. 1 and 2 day boot camps. I've seen the multifamily boot camps that you do. And then you also have your CRM. What's the name of your CRM?
It's ROI-Muse CRM. Okay. So everything is under the ROI-Muse brand.
So this is a big thing in our business, right? Commercial real estate is just like any real estate opportunity, salesperson opportunity. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get started. Have your license, have your business cards, have a phone. But when it comes to growing and expanding your business, there's things like marketing, there's CRM. So we know of some like Brevitas is a big one, RealNex. There's many different, and they're pretty expensive. And so is your ROI-Muse, is that a reasonably priced, fully functioning CRM?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is with every company. When you're starting a new business, you need to think about what is your strategy for go to market. And when we gave it, literally we had few days of workshops to figure out how we're going to position ourselves in the market and how we're going to penetrate the market. And as a new company, there was two things. Number one was easy to use. We were not going to build something that is a behemoth of other systems that are out there that has every little thing that you can think about, but nobody knows how to use them, right? So we didn't want to do the same mistake and people subscribe and they cancel because they're not using the system. They may pay for a while, very frustrated about all these features. We wanted to keep it simple, right? So our number one is design to make it easy to use. That is the same for analysis tools if you're doing underwriting. And if it's, if you're using a CRM or even for marketing, it will be all based on the simplicity of use will be our number one priority. And the number two is because we are working with our ideal customer profile is somebody who is beginner to intermediate level in commercial real estate as an agent or an investor, or ideally both, right? So our pricing has to be to match that ideal customer profile. We are not targeting big brokers or big brokerages where they can afford to pay a few $100s a month per user. Our price points are about $20 to starting at $20 a month, all the way to maybe $35 a month for the software, depending on what you need.
That's really good. And your focus is commercial real estate, right? Because there's a lot of CRMs out there that have started with residential real estate, and then they attempt to sort of twist themselves into commercial real estate. And as you and I know, you're shaking your head. It really doesn't work. And from my perspective, a CRM needs to meet 3 criteria. Number 1, easy to learn. Number 2, it's portable. So you can do it on your phone. Oh, you see my dog. You can do it on your phone or on the go. And then also that it's expandable. So as your business grows, that the CRM can expand with you. And would you say that ROI-Muse CRM meets those criteria?
Yes. So we have the second thing that you mentioned, the portability is something that we are working on. It's that mobile capability is not there today, but that is top priority for us for the CRM system. For the analysis tools, it's a web-based tool. Only because if you're going to do a $10 million deal underwriting, I hope you're not doing it on your phone. There's a lot more to consider when you're doing that. But the CRM absolutely does.
Well, sometimes we do things on the fly, right? Like just kind of broad
Yeah,
spectrum
quick
analysis.
back of the napkin. Yes, those kind
Yeah.
of things. Yes, we will.
And that comes with experience, because I share with people that I'm coaching or teaching or mentoring. Don't make promises you can't keep. It's okay to say, you know what, that's a great question. Let me get back to you on that. And then you save yourself having to dig yourself out of a hole later on, right, Joseph?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the number one thing that when we tell all of our coaching students, right? So you are capable of doing everything. You may not know it. So just tell them, let me get back to you, right? That's always the answer for everything. That's a good question. Hold that thought. I'll get right back to you and go talk to your coach and get back to them tomorrow, right? Or go talk to your mentor or your team leader, whoever that you need to talk to. But that should not hold you back from doing business and talking to people, right? And most people appreciate that you are new. Everybody has been new in their career at some point. You can be 100% brutally honest and say that, hey, I'm new, but I'm working with this team of people with 15 years of
Yes.
experience, 20 years of experience. So let me talk to them and I'll get back to you and I'll give you the right answer.
Yeah, I agree with you. I used to say the same thing. Lean into the experience of your mentor, of your team, of your company. I mean, you have all of this support behind you, so you're not going through this alone. And also, from my perspective, going into my 19th year, I don't want to date myself, but there's no fire drills in commercial real estate. Really, it's a different pace, right? Than maybe Sunday night at 10 p.m., you're writing an offer on a house and you're rushing. And in commercial real estate, it's not that you take your time, but there's a time for everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things are much slower pace, so it's much better lifestyle. I know a lot of people talk about it, no weekends and no evenings. That's not exactly 100% true, but
True.
it's very, very rare, right? But
Yeah.
you can almost say that. So it's much easier. There is no emotional drama like trying to sell a home or trying to buy a home. But you're dealing with some business people who are very smart. So you just need to up your game to be, on the same footing as your customers. And that takes time, right? So I'm not trying to scare anybody off. It just takes time. You have to understand that, you can learn it. None of us when I was born, I didn't know anything about commercial real estate, right? I didn't know anything about commercial real estate my first 30 years of my life. It's something that I learned in the last 10 years, right? So, or 10 or 20 years, right? So it's like everybody has to start somewhere. You take one day at a time, you learn one thing every day. That is our mantra. Come and learn one thing, and over a period of time, you become an expert just by repetition, right? You're hearing the same thing over and over again. You're hearing this from multiple mentors, multiple coaches. You have to become an expert. You may not realize it, but you are getting transformed underneath as you go through a training mentorship program.
It's so true. Whether you decide to be an expert in a vertical market, or you decide to be an expert in a specific area, or for example, for some reason, I've been the car wash queen lately. I've sold a lot of car washes, maybe 38 or 40 mobile home parks in my career, mini storage, apartments. But I do a lot of different types of transactions. I I really have been a generalist my whole career, and that's worked for me. However, I know my state very well, inside and out. I know the market, I know the trends. And so when you identify your area of expertise, then you dive in, and there's lots of resources, from neighborhood advisory board meetings to real estate division information to reports that are put out by CBRE or NA Alliance, things like that. So you can go from the macro level to the micro level. So I think that's great. And you and I are on the same page. We come from a servant heart. We want to help people and help them be better and do better. And do you have some good stories you want to share with us that from your years of experience, either as a coach, mentor, or as a broker yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of stories. That one that comes to mind is I'll talk about my first multifamily deal. It was a 12-unit property in Dallas, Texas. I thought this should be easy, right? And some of my mentors actually told me a small multifamily is more challenging. You should know what you're getting into. But at that time, I was also working full time for IBM. So it's not like I could go to the property every day or I could keep a close eye on the property. So I thought, okay, I'll rely on some property management companies. So the first couple of property management companies did not work out very well. One of them was stealing money from me. So I eventually had to, fire them and take them to, threaten with their lawsuit to get some of the money back. So that was the learning experience. I thought, who would steal money? Especially your property management company.
I
But
know.
you will be surprised. Then I hired one of the top management companies in the state for my next management, and they were able to get me they were able to fill up my property very quickly. I was getting much higher rents. And I was like, this is awesome. Why didn't I find these guys before? Well, that did not last very long. After about 3 months, I started getting calls from the cops. Your property is filled with criminals. Uh,
Oh,
because they were able to get double deposits and $300 $400 more per unit than market. And I was pretty naive to not know that there's something going on here, that I'm getting these tenants who are willing to pay $500 more a month and they're willing to pay 2 months deposit, only to find out that they were qualifying these tenants who are not be qualified anywhere else. And
so they were driving up your net operating income and driving down the value of your property based on the tenants that they were letting in there. And then you have to go through the process of getting them out of there and all the drama that happens in between, right?
well, I became very good friends with the sheriff's office in the
Yeah.
next
First name
next
basis.
next few months, until we could clean it out, right? And then after I cleaned it out, I sold it. I made a lot of money, but I learned everything about multifamily business. Now we do syndications for larger multifamily properties. So I've syndicated about 7 properties in the last few years, typically C-class, 100 plus unit multifamily deals. So that's, but you all start your journey somewhere. My journey, I started with single family investments and then moved on to small multifamily and to large multifamily. I like multifamily for my investments because we do value add or even adaptive reuse strategies. But for my brokerage business, I like tenant rep. I like investment sales, especially on the retail investment sales. I enjoy retail investment sales. I enjoy working with retail investors. It's easier, a lot easier if you know. I mean, you obviously your number one uh, job is to audit the leases to find out the leases are solid and
Mhm.
and create a good pro forma for your buyer to look at. So I'm a generalist myself, but for my own investments, I like multifamily. From a brokerage side, I like tenant rep deals and I like retail investments.
That's great. So you mentioned syndication. This is something we get questions about a lot. Will you talk about what syndication is, how you got involved with that, and kind of how you're structuring deals? Just some high level conversation about that.
Yeah, syndication, it's a very simple concept. It's just pooling people's money and people's resources, right, to do bigger deals. So you or me, I know I can't, and most people can't go buy a $10 million property or $20 million property. But if 5 of us come together, we can, put our resources together and pool our talents together and do bigger deals. That is the basic concept of that. But then when you're talking about syndications, there's always some confusion about joint ventures and syndications. So I'll just clarify that quickly.
Sure.
Right? So in a joint venture, typically it's a small group of people, maybe five plus or minus 5 people, but everybody's active in the deal. So everybody's signing on the note, everybody's involved in the management, everybody has the same voting rights, but you have to qualify them as quote unquote active, right? So active meaning that they are involved in the deal. Now, syndication, on the other hand, you can have passive investors. So, passive investors, basically, the general partners in a syndication or the sponsors of the deal are the ones who are doing all the work. They are the ones who are typically going to sign on the mortgage. But you can have passive investors that are not taking any risk, not doing any work, and they're not taking any risk other than the money they're investing.
The
Yeah,
financial risk.
but they're not signing on the mortgage typically, and they are not doing any work at the property, but they have, they're not involved in day-to-day decision making as well. So that is something that you always want to get in, get a SEC attorney involved, Securities and Exchange Commission qualified attorney who knows how to do the syndication. There are rules of engagement about how you can raise capital depending on the type of syndication. So we have done both 506Bs and 506Cs. In a 506B, for example, you can only raise money from people that you have a relationship with, and you have to qualify them as, either an accredited investor or a sophisticated investor. But in a 506C, it's basically you can raise money from anywhere. They have to be an accredited investor. So there are some subtle differences between the two, and you just need to know what you're doing, and so you don't break any laws, or you don't want to, do something by mistake as well, right? As far as when it comes to advertising the deal, but that is a sure way to scale your business. So now instead of doing a single family home or multiple single family deals or small multifamily, now you are, within a couple of years, you can have, a couple thousand units under your belt or assets under management. So that's a different business by itself. So basically, you're not looking at this as a single deal. You're looking at, hey, I have an investment company. This is my business. Right? I syndicate deals. Part of that syndication is I need to have a good deal flow where I'm going to find these deals and a strategy of what kind of deals I'm looking for. You also need to know, where you're going to find your investors. That's another line of business. Now you need to market to investors to find that cash when you have the deal ready to go.
So yeah, thank you for going through that. So other syndicators that I know spend a lot of time on the phone looking for properties that meet their criteria, and also keeping a flow of qualified or accredited investors and finding those people through, targeted efforts. So do you find that when you're working on putting those types of transactions together, that you're doing the same thing?
Yeah, we do the same thing. I think even with syndications, there is a journey. When you're starting out, you look at your friends and family, which may not be a good thing, and then you also look at your immediate colleagues, friends, things like that for capital, source of capital. But as your business grows and you have more credibility, you start looking at more professional investors, like family offices or some private equity funds. And also, there are other ways you can source capital. So you don't have to go source capital from individual people. You can source capital from, companies that provide capital, right? So they are investment companies themselves. So they would bring in $5-10 million into a deal if you find the right deal for them. So you can, so you don't have to go to 100 different people.
I think that what I see in your future, Joseph, is doing some training on syndication.
Well, we can, but I'm not qualified to do syndication training. We always refer that to attorneys because there are, but we can talk about how we do deals, and that's something part of our coaching program. Is we also at a high level we talk about, hey, how do you go about raising money for your deals? How do you set up your?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, every business has the same simple concept, which is you need to define your ideal customer and then go figure out how you're going to get in front of their face. Right, so that is bottom line for any business. And so when you're doing syndications, you have, literally you have, like I said, you have a deal flow division. Their job is to go find properties that fit your investment criteria. Then you have another line of business. It could be a separate company if you want to find investors for your deals. And then you have another third pillar, which is probably the most important pillar, which is to operate the property.
Sure.
You buy the property, now it's a different game, right? Now you have to figure out how to implement your strategy, how to get the value up, and execute your business plan.
Yeah, you hit some good points. So you can have the people that focus on finding the ideal transactions, and they get compensated for that. Then you have your syndication group, so where the money is coming from, and managing that flow. And then you have the ongoing management of a held asset, so that you don't have a nightmare like your first multifamily transaction where anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and you're probably grateful for that now because you learned the lessons. And also having the your affiliate partners is so important, like the attorneys you're talking about, contractors, management companies, all of those things that help us be successful at our job, because it does take a village to complete a successful commercial real estate transaction, no doubt about it. And in business opportunities, which Stephanie and I both do, business sales, we also have attorneys that specialize in putting those contracts together because those are unique as well. So that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And then you touched on just briefly in the beginning, Joseph, that your next expansion is going to be into marketing and brand promotion. And do you want to talk just a little bit about that as we wrap up today?
Yeah. So if you're working for a big company, it doesn't matter. I think if you're most of us are independent contractors, and we change brokerages, as we all know, and so one of the things that I know I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but I always tell my students, right? Think about where you will be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Build that business towards that 10-year vision that you have. Your current brokerage may not be part of that vision, right? So think about what systems you need, how you're going to build your business, how you're going to scale to what you want to be. Like most people want, a $500 million business or $50 million business, whatever that number is, right? So if that's your goal, let's start building that up today. Otherwise it's never going to happen. Right. Part of that is you need to establish your brand, which maybe it's okay to be branded with another established brokerage, but you should also think about, if they allow to brand yourself or your company as well. So that is, one of the things to consider. Now, what are the different pieces that you need? Obviously, you need your web presence. So that's what everybody starts with. Then you need your marketing. What is your ideal customer? How are you going to get in front of them, right? So same question, right? So now, yes, you can pick up the phone and call. That can only scale so far, but yeah, you need to now, supplement that with some marketing, which it could be email marketing, it could be social media, it could be any number of other things. And to get in front of people, it's building your reputation management. There are a number of different pillars to build that up, right? And it takes time. It's not like you can flip a switch on and it's going to work for you. You have to have patience, you have to have budget, because the process. We are all trying to learn it different ways. And marketing is all about testing. You test one thing.
Your A/B testing. Yeah.
Your A/B testing or your ABCD testing. That you're always testing until you find something that is a winner. And as soon as you find something that works for you, then the market has changed or the technology has changed. So it's a continuous process. It's not something, but you have to have a marketing team. Initially, you may be the marketer in your company, because you're a one-person company, right? So you're doing everything. You're doing sales, you're doing marketing. But marketing is the one thing that you can easily outsource. That once you know what you want, it's a $5 an hour task that you should not be doing, but you should be the strategist when it comes to marketing, right? Because you know your customers, you know your business, but that is something that you can outsource to somebody else. And that's where we think that a lot of people get stuck, because they are technology-wise, they don't know how to get started about even putting this together, or they don't have any budget, or they don't have a big budget. So we are looking at it. Can we create something affordable for somebody that is we do everything on a collaborative basis, because we can keep our costs down. So in our group coaching program, like I said, we have 15, 20 people in that program. So we can keep our costs down compared to one-on-one coaching. Same thing with marketing. What if we can give you a marketing platform and give you a resource that's a shared resource to help you do your marketing? Like 5 brokers can easily share one resource. And that way you can keep your costs down. Or you can hire a full-time marketing person that knows what they're doing and pay them $100,000.
Well, that's so I used to teach marketing for commercial real estate at my former brokerage. I actually won Instructor of the Year for EXP Commercial. And you're mentioning a lot of things that I talked about. And number one is, in my opinion, from marketing standpoint, is leverage. So outsourcing your day-to-day tasks, like creating your master plan, your marketing calendar, your strategy, your target audience, and then outsourcing the day-to-day activities to someone that you're in communication with, that like a virtual assistant or an assistant in your office, so that you don't have to do that, because every hour that you're taking away trying to create your latest TikTok video or a post on social media, you're taking away from the time you could be talking to prospective clients or working on transactions. And so I agree with you. And I don't know if you looked at any of my social media before you came on the show, but we have Lisa Marie Wand Group. So I'm branded specifically. I have been for many years. And A lot of times, Joe, you said you don't want to get in trouble, but this is a totally safe space, is that a lot of agents are growing the name and the reputation of their brokerage, not of them individually. And a lot of commercial real estate brokerages don't allow for individual marketing. And so that's an important key if you want to grow your own brand, which I have done and you have done as well. We have almost 500 five-star reviews on Google. Those are all organic. We don't pay for Google marketing because we automatically come up in that top hamburger if you're looking in the state of Nevada. And then also, and that does take time, and you can create some consistent content is really important, right? Because you have people that are, I'm going to throw all this stuff out there, and then you're not going to hear from me. So consistently sending your newsletters, your email blasts, your texts, your social media posts. So that's great. And that's going to be separate from your CRM, or is it going to be?
That be separate. We haven't priced it yet because, we'll probably have a look at a couple of different models, which is basically, okay, here's the platform, do what you want to do with it. If you're technically savvy with watching some videos or whatever, but if you're going to need some help, then we need to price in, how many people can one person support and what kind of support somebody needs. So that will be a trial and error until we figure out, where we can make a marginal profit, but at the same time, provide the best service that we can as well. But I think one point, Lisa Marie, that you brought up, and that kind of, it's basically there are, and we've been coaching. I've been coaching since 2020, late 2020 or so. So I've been in the business for about 4 or 5 years now, coaching. And one of the biggest regrets that people tell us is I've made my clients a lot of money, which is awesome, right? That's what our jobs are, to make your clients money. But the regret is I did not make any money for myself. I don't have anything to show for. So on the same way, it's the same thing that I've helped my company grow, or I've helped them, get better brand awareness. But this happened and now I'm leaving, but I don't have anything to take with me. I don't even have my email to take with me.
That's right.
I'm losing all of my data. I'm losing all of my marketing efforts, everything that I've done. I just start from scratch. I don't know if I have the energy to start at this time, right? Or at this age, right? So those are things that we are independent coaches and mentors, and we have to be 100% honest with you, saying these are the things you should consider, right? And I'm not against, I'm part of a big brand myself. I won't tell who it is, but it's 100% fine to be part of a big brand, like anything that you choose. But you should always think about, what is your, if you have to break away, how easy will it be for you to break away?
So like what's your end goal? Begin with the end in mind. What's your 5, 10, 15-year plan? And starting that now. And that could look like a lot of different things, including working for a big box company or a small brand. It just, anything is possible. If you can envision it, it can happen. And I'm so grateful to have you on today. We are kindred spirits wanting to help people in this business on either side of the transaction, the agents and brokers or the investors. And thank you for being here today, Joseph. We'd like to have you on again to talk some more about some of your upcoming projects. And thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was an awesome experience. And good luck to you guys. And we'll stay connected and see how we can help each other.
That sounds great. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.